Well, folks, as the title states, I bought a house. It's unbelievable. I will tell you all about it. It happened pretty much by accident, but it's a story. So we'll get into that in just a second. If you are new here, my name is Catherine. Back in 2019, I got rid of almost all of my worldly possessions and hit the road full time in an old slide-in truck camper and an old Chevy truck. I lived in that for 3 years until I sold it and then bought a 21-foot travel trailer, which I lived in for another 3 years. And since then, I've been camping out of my truck with a camper shell and just sleeping out of the back of my truck. I've downsized quite a bit, and now I have a house. So how did this happen? I was not looking to buy a house. As a lot of you know, back at the end of 2024 into the beginning of 2025, I purchased my new truck, and I decided at that time that I wanted a home base. I had an opportunity to leave my trailer on a property that was in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains of California and just travel in my truck alone. I was kind of tired of pulling my trailer, and I wanted to travel lighter and just be able to pick up and go and not have to worry about parking and leave all of the worries that come along with towing a trailer. So at that point, I left my trailer at my home base on a property and would just return every several months, and that was really actually working out pretty well. I wound up finding out about the home I'm currently sitting in through the owners of the property that my trailer was sitting on. They were selling this home, and they just asked me if I wanted to come in and take a look at it. And when I looked at it, it was pretty much gutted. There was nothing in here. You could see the old wallpaper, which was circa like 1979 or 80 or something like that. The floors were a mess. The walls were a mess. There was nothing inside in terms of cabinetry like you see behind me. And I could see a vision for it. It had good bones. It had an amazing view, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was just kind of in awe of what it could potentially be. But of course, I wasn't thinking of it for myself. At that time, the owner asked me if I was interested in purchasing the house, and I said, there's absolutely no way. I said, there's no way I can do it. I had just bought my truck, so I had a pretty hefty truck payment, and I just couldn't see how I could make it happen financially. And he, at that time, said, well, we're willing to work with you, his wife and himself. They said, we can work with you, but I thought they don't really understand the financial situation I'm in. So I didn't think it was going to happen at all. I kind of just wrote it off for that afternoon. However, the entire night that night, I thought about it. I thought, what can I do? How can I financially make this work? I kind of crunched some numbers. I was up all night crunching numbers, and I got in touch with them the next day and kind of went over the numbers and what could potentially work for me, and to see if that was something feasible on their end. To my surprise, they got back to me and they gave me several different options of owner financing. So they were going to finance it. It wasn't going to need to go through a bank, and they let me decide which one would work best for me. So there was one option in there that I thought was feasible. So we continued to negotiate, and before I knew it, the home was mine. When I first got on the road full time back in 2019, I had no idea how it was going to pan out. I had no idea how long I was going to want to stay on the road, and I just didn't know what the future held. However, I did come to the realization probably in year 5 into 6 that I knew that I didn't want to live on the road full time anymore. Hence the reason that I got the location that I got to leave my travel trailer. I saw myself at some point purchasing a piece of land. I was looking at land. I went and looked at several pieces of land, and I thought that I would just either, one, live out of my trailer, or two, build something on that land, or maybe get a tiny home. There were several options that I was looking at. The situation for me, though, is that I wanted to be in a place that I could still be close enough to family within a day's drive, that I was rural but not isolated, so that I would be close enough to a town. And it was just hard finding anything that really fit that bill. When I found the place to park my trailer, that kind of checked most of the boxes. And I probably would have been fine doing that for, several years. However, this opportunity fell into my lap, and it's just one of those things that just really felt like it was meant to be. I just couldn't see any cons really to the situation other than the financial strain, but yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It just felt so right. A lot of you have asked me about what I was going to do about retirement, and honestly, I had those thoughts myself. What am I going to do? I work for myself now. I run my own business. What will I do? I don't want to be on the road when I'm getting older full time, and I just wasn't sure what I was going to do. So investing in a home seemed like the perfect answer. What I did was I put down some of my savings onto this home, and I financed the rest of it for not very long, just several years. The home was not expensive. Just so you know, it is a tiny home of sorts. It is a trailer or a manufactured home, and it is just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. So it was definitely affordable. I knew that I could purchase this home and have it paid off in several years, have it paid off by the time I'm ready to just settle down and retire, and I could afford then to use whatever savings I have as well as Social Security to live on. There are definitely still some things that I want to do to set myself up for retirement in terms of investing and things like that. I'm going to look into maybe talking to a financial advisor so that I can do that. I did cash out my 401k when I hit the road full time. I wanted to have enough money to live for 2 years if I didn't make 1 cent through my YouTube business. And so I did still have some of that. I still do have a little bit of that because I didn't pay cash for this home outright. I didn't want to spend all of my cash. So I went ahead and took the opportunity to finance it. I plan to work really hard while I'm still working and bringing in some revenue to pay this house off before even the loan term comes up. So I think that I'm actually setting myself up pretty well. By the way, I will give you a tour of the inside of this home later on in the video. Summer is here, y'all, and that is not only evident because of the heat, but also because people are on vacation. I can tell you where I am right now. There are lots more people on the roads and in the campgrounds and in the hiking trails, and I'm about to get back on the road again myself. But one of the many great things about AG1 is that wherever summer takes you, you can take your routine with you with AG1. AG1 contains 75 plus ingredients like prebiotics, probiotics, vitamins, minerals. With just 1 scoop daily, you can start your day the healthy way, no matter where you are. AG1 Next Gen fills common nutrient gaps in the modern diet and promotes gut health by combining a multivitamin, pre and probiotics, a methylated B complex, and nutrient-dense whole foods into a single serving. AG1 Next Gen is now in 4 flavors, the original, and summer-friendly, refreshing flavors like citrus, tropical, and berry. I like starting my day with the fruity flavors on these really warm mornings lately. I feel like during the summer months, we expend a lot more energy, and AG1 Next Gen supports energy with superfoods and B vitamins that give you a continuous production of energy throughout the day without the crash. AG1 also rigorously tests their formula for hundreds of contaminants and impurities to guarantee they're delivering the highest quality nutrients available. I highly recommend you try an AG1 for yourself. You can head to the link below or scan the QR code here, and you will get this super cute morning person hat, which is fully adjustable, along with a flavor sampler and everything else that comes with the welcome kit, which is a shaker, a scoop, a canister. That is an $82 value for free. Thank you once again to AG1 for sponsoring this video. Now back to the show. This is definitely a tiny home of sorts. I believe it's a 12-foot by around 52-foot long trailer, and it is only a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, as I mentioned. I do still have my travel trailer, and for now I am keeping it because this home is so small. I live in a location which is still in the Eastern Sierra area where family and friends do like visiting me, and so having my travel trailer is just like having an extra room, extra space for guests. And right now I'm enjoying having that additional space. I may wind up selling it down the road, but I haven't come to that conclusion yet. I would have never been able to purchase a traditional home with my income, unfortunately. I don't think that I would have. Definitely not in California, but I don't think so in any other state. So this was just an incredible option. It's all the space that I need for me, coming out of first the truck camper and now the travel trailer. It's a lot more space than I had in either of those, and so it feels very roomy, very cozy to me. I didn't have to do a lot of work because they remodeled it before I came in, and it looks really nice. They put these nice wood floors in, this beautiful cabinetry behind me in the kitchen, just nice paint. So it was very fresh and clean when I moved in. I had hardly anything. I had to pretty much purchase everything in the home because I had no dishes, no real dishes. I had plastic dishes that I carried in the travel trailer, but I needed sets of silverware and dishes and pretty much everything. I had a couple of pieces of artwork that I already previously owned in storage, but I hit up Facebook Marketplace. That's where I bought this cool chair that I'm sitting in. I hit up thrift stores to furnish this home, and everything that I purchased here was really inexpensive, except for I did splurge on a leather sofa. But other than that, everything that I purchased was on the inexpensive side. That's really all I could afford. So without further ado, I will give you a tour of the inside, and after that we'll talk a little bit more about what that means for this channel. Here is the kitchen. It is small, but it is definitely functional. I've got a lot of cabinet space. I've got this beautiful window with a fruit tree right outside, and I love it. It's got butcher block countertops, very simple, very clean. Everything in this house, or hopefully everything, is dual purpose, compact. So I've got this shelf here with these baskets that contain all kinds of bits and bobs and just extra storage, games, things like that. I've made it into a little credenza. It's just a cheap Walmart bookshelf. I bought this table from, I think, Amazon. I just love it, this little kind of farmhouse style. And it's just very simple, very clean. I love having an oven when I'm here at home base. I don't have an oven either in the travel trailer. I did not have one in the truck camper. So it's been nice to have an oven to cook some meals out of. Between the living space and the kitchen, I just have a small desk with my laptop, and that is where I'm getting my work done, getting my editing done, and that's all I need. I've been used to working in much smaller spaces. Sometimes I work out of the back of the truck when I'm on the road, just with my laptop sitting on my lap, and this is just a nice little space, kind of tucked out of the way, and it works. I think everything kind of works without feeling too cluttered. That painting is a Salvation Army find, which I just absolutely love it. This is the living space, the living area, and I found some of this stuff on Facebook Marketplace. The chair, I love that blue chair. My sister Teresa actually found that for me. I absolutely love it. The only thing that I splurged on, as I mentioned, is this leather sofa. I found these cowhide pillows on Facebook Marketplace. Everything's pretty much been a bargain, as I said, and I'm really impressed with how much seating I've been able to create in here. I've got this little futon, which can be made into a bed. I've got the sofa, which somebody could sleep on or sit on. I've got this chair. I've got the chair from my desk. So that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with the dining room chairs, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got enough seating for 11 people here in this tiny house. It's very good because, as I mentioned, I have family visiting. I actually had family here earlier today. I had my nephew Daniel with his wife, my niece Gabby, and their kids and their dog, and we enjoyed having a nice time both inside and outside where I do have a porch, but I'll save that for another time. This house does not have a fireplace, so I got a little fake one. These things just slide open and then this lights up and it gives you some ambiance, and it actually does put off some warmth when it's colder, but I definitely do not need it right now. Okay, I'm switching over to my phone because it has a wide angle lens so you can see just a very small bathroom. Exiting the bathroom, there's a beautiful photo from my friend Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. You exit the bathroom, and then here is my fairly tiny bedroom. I've got a wide angle lens going on right now, so it does look bigger, but it's cozy and it's all I need. And it's bigger than anything I've had over the last many years. As you can see, I've been doing some nesting, and that's one thing about me is I'm definitely a nester. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that because I did it in my truck camper, I did it in my trailer, I've done it in every home I've owned. I've wasted no time in making a home, no matter if it's on wheels or not, and nesting. I love to decorate. I like doing that more than I like buying clothes for myself. I'm much more about buying things to make a home cozy than I am putting clothes on my body. So that's just me. So I've had this home for a little while now, and I grappled with whether I wanted to share it on the channel or not. But ultimately I decided I wanted to because I know that a lot of people worry about me. I know that a lot of folks that have been around a long time, you know, we're a family here. You guys are part of my life, and I think that definitely a lot of you have concerns over me living out of the back of a truck. So I wanted you to know that that is not something that I do full-time. I have a home that I get to come back to, a beautiful, cozy little home, and that's important to me because I will say that on this last expedition leg, which was 6 weeks, I was definitely kind of over being in the back of the truck or camping out of the back of the truck for a little while. I definitely needed a break from it, and it was nice to be able to come back and have a home to come back to. Another amazing thing about this is that it's in an outdoor lover's paradise. Last week you saw me on a backpacking trip up to Big Pine Lakes. That is not a long drive for me to go. All of these amazing world-class mountains, world-class hiking, outdoors activities are in my backyard. So even when I am at home base, I'm going to be out exploring, camping, hiking, backpacking this amazing area of our lower 48 states and the world. Most of you know that I do have a fairly new truck. It's a little over a year old now. It's about a year and a half old now. And I did initially purchase that so that I could pull the trailer, but everything just kind of changed. So I do still have the truck. And as I mentioned, I don't mind camping out of the back of the truck as it is now, which is the camper shell. However, during long stretches, long expeditions, it can get tiring. So I am still looking at the possibility of purchasing a slide-in pop-up truck camper. I think that's pretty much the happy medium that I am really entertaining the idea of the most in terms of what I want to live on or what I want to live out of while I'm on the road. And in terms of how it will affect this channel, it really won't. It's not going to make much of a difference. Traveling is in my blood. This is a travel channel, so I will continue to travel. The only difference is that when I'm here at home base, I probably will show you some of me here at home as I'm in between adventures or getting ready to set out on adventures. And that's probably where I'll leave it. I don't know. I mean, initially, as I said, I was planning on or thinking of getting land, like a lot of other people who lived the van life, transitioned into getting cabins or homes that they are fixing up, and it turns into more of a remodeling, rebuilding type channel, and they do really well. And that's initially the idea I had, but that didn't happen. This is what happened. This is what was meant to be for me, I think. And so that's not something that I can make part of the channel. This house is pretty much done. There are little projects here and there, but I'll probably leave that to just private, or I could potentially start a second channel where I do more here at the home and I show you more of the DIY or the outdoor projects that I'm doing. So that is a possibility as well. But those are all things that maybe I could get into a little bit more down the road. I was definitely nervous about sharing this with you all, but I would love to hear what you think about my tiny home. Anyhow, that's going to do it for this week. I am planning on getting out on another adventure next week, another awesome adventure, and I am planning on hitting the road again here very shortly. So we'll be back on the road. We are going to be back to exploring, back to adventuring in new locations, and back on the road. And that'll probably be for another pretty good long stretch of an expedition. Well, the cat's out of the bag. I feel a little bit of a sense of relief and a weight lifted off my shoulders having shared that with you all. As always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you watching. And thank you, everyone. I couldn't do any of this without all of you. So I appreciate you to the core of my soul. Love you all. And I will see you on the next adventure. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.